I get asked all the time, you've seen the world, what was your favorite place? And it's time for me to answer. These top 20 places are ones that I knew once I saw them, I was never going to feel the same again. Some of them, I can't still believe I actually saw or experienced. Let's start with number 20, and you're not gonna guess what number 1 is. Number 20 is ziplining through Costa Rica. What do you think?
Great, a lot of fun.
So first of all, ziplining was on my bucket list, but being in Costa Rica and doing the zipline through the rainforest, and in our case, it was pouring rain, which at first I thought, oh, now the first chance of being able to zip line in this incredible place would be so impactful in a negative way. And it actually wasn't. It highlighted it so much, hearing the animals and the birds and having it just be pouring rain. Yeah, what an experience. We did the zip lining through Rainforest Adventures. They did such an exceptional job making sure that we were safe. You do need to take a tram up to the top. We are incredibly afraid of heights. So I know that makes you think, why in the world would you zip line then? But we feel like fear is there to teach you something. And so we always try to take it head on. I think just the whole excitement of all of it was enough to take over any fear. There was about 12 different platforms. There was so much lightning that we kept getting stopped on the platforms. Oh look, we have to walk down now. They called it no more zip line. Absolutely loved it.
We did, it was cool.
Were you scared at all?
No, it wasn't bad. The only thing that got me was as we came into the first landing, and then you realize 70-foot drop, and you were only standing 1 foot off the ledge.
Yeah, because there was like platforms that you had to end at and step up on a step, but there was nothing that was keeping you from falling back into the rainforest.
No, that was it.
And you came flying in. So
Flying in.
way faster than I thought it was going to be. They said they were going to control the speed, and I thought, oh geez, we're going to be creeping along. Holy cow, we're so fast. It's like 60 miles an hour.
Screaming like a little girl, too.
Screaming like a little girl. But so fun. And for 2 people that are crazy afraid of heights,
1.5
great
people.
job.
Great job.
1.5 people.
1.5 people.
Great job.
She's short. She's short. 1.5.
Costa Rica is just a biosphere of outdoor amazingness, and that is so my jam. So definitely 20, ziplining through Costa Rica. Number 19 is doing a spiritual cleanse in Bali, Indonesia. When we did the Ultimate World Cruise, we were only in Bali for a day. When I went with my girlfriend, we were there for 2 weeks, and I could spend months in Bali. It was incredible. Now, part of the reason that Bali is on the incredible list is it's so inexpensive there. We stayed in 5-star resorts that you can really immerse in your experience and not spend crazy amount of money. On the flip side of that, it took us 23 hours to fly there, so there's that. But the reason Bali is number 19 on my list is because we did a spiritual cleansing while we were there. Basically, a spiritual cleansing is a purification ritual, if you will, that uses water to basically cleanse your body, your mind, and your spirit of negative energy. And then the process is literally flowers and water, and you are just showered. They're doing offerings and prayers and chants over you as you are being cleansed. And it's just such an incredible soul experience. One that I will never forget. We sat down with a spiritual healer, discussed our lives, our history, who we were, who they knew we were, our past lives and how they were impactful, and then did the cleansing. And yeah, just such an incredible experience. If you have the opportunity to go to Bali, yeah, don't even think about it. Don't even question it. Don't question how far the flight is. any of it. Reach out to me. I'll give you all my info of how we did it in 2 weeks and what we did and where we stayed. It was exceptional. And this experience alone, definitely. And if I'm speaking this highly of my experience in Bali, where could this list of 20 possibly go? Number 18 is watching Spain play England in the finals of the FIFA competition in 2024 in Barcelona, Spain. First of all, we are huge soccer fans, but to be in Barcelona is a whole nother level. I have another soccer moment on my list, but this one was an experience for the record book. The energy in Barcelona that day was so palpable. Everyone everywhere was ready for Spain to play England. But I think the game started at 7 and we got to the bar at probably 4. It was crazy. It was just so exciting and so fun to watch with all these people. We probably would have cheered for England, but being in Spain, we're of course cheering for Spain. Who wins the FIFA final? You guessed it, Spain. And the place just exploded. So number 18 comes in hard with watching Spain in the FIFA final in Barcelona. Okay, number 16, probably not gonna surprise you now. We saw Liam Gallagher in concert in the O2 in London. Now, we've been to a lot of different concerts and I'm just like, okay, it'll be fine. I like Liam, it'll be good. Oh my gosh. Fun and it'll be good does not describe it. You almost have to experience a Liam Gallagher or Oasis concert in person to get it, but it is on another level. So great that I'm getting goosebumps. The fans, the experience, the energy, the chanting. You could barely hear Liam because the crowd screams the songs. Alcohol's getting thrown through the air. They actually had all the music equipment covered because there was liquids coming from everywhere. People are arm in arm. It's just the most energetic experience concert I've ever been to. Definitely seeing Liam Gallagher in concert at the O2 in London. And remember, all of these videos in full form are on my YouTube channel, so go back and watch the whole thing. But I think now that I can properly count, number 16 is definitely Japan. The entire country of Japan is just incredible. But we did the little Mario Karts through the city in Tokyo. We're in the karts. We're doing the go-kart. Oh my god. The tutorial was a little intimidating, but we're in the karts and we're having a blast. It's Tokyo. Right through the city. We're going through the Shibuya Scramble right now. Gotta go. It was so fun. First of all, these karts are no joke. This is crazy. Completely crazy. They go fast and they don't brake very fast. I gotta go. Because you're driving them in the city. And so you have to keep up with city traffic. And the traffic in Tokyo is also no joke, but you can tour the city as you're riding and just being able to blaze through. We all dressed up in costumes and had different hats on. A definite thing you want to do when you're in Tokyo.
What a way to see Tokyo. It was a lot of fun.
Those things are scoot.
Amazed they let it go through Tokyo like that.
I know.
Through the Shibuya crossing.
Yeah, because there's so many people and so much traffic. Yeah. It was
amazing.
So fun though, right?
It was amazing.
Totally worth it.
Great time.
Yeah, great time. It was literally going back to feeling like you're an 8-year-old. Just so fun. So number 15 is almost beyond description. We not only saw one of the 7 world wonders in Christ the Redeemer in Rio de Janeiro, but we just happened to strategically be there on Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Now, one thing Royal Caribbean was not going to do while we were on the Ultimate World Cruise is release all of these world cruisers to Carnival on our overnight in Rio, just making sure that they could keep track of all of us. So they did require that we get back on board for New Year's Eve. However, we were able to get #1 pole position in the water so that we were center stage looking back over Copacabana Beach to watch the fireworks to bring in 2024. Rio de Janeiro is the only place on the planet that can do it this way. It was just magical watching all the fireworks. 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year! I don't know, 1,000, 1,500 people party to celebrate New Year's Eve is an experience that we'll never have again. And seeing Christ the Redeemer was, it's a world wonder. So it's a whole experience in and of itself. Just seeing all of the platforms preparing for the fireworks show while we were at Christ the Redeemer was just like the level of excitement of what is that going to bring and what is it going to look like. So if you ever get the opportunity to go to Rio, do Carnival, or see the fireworks in that way, absolutely go. Okay, number 14 is kayaking through Olden, Norway. I had huge expectations for Norway, and Olden and Loen did not disappoint. Kayaking through the fjord in Olden and the views and hearing the history of that area, it was so beautiful. We're kayaking in the fjords in Norway. Oh, I wish you could see it out here. It is so beautiful. Norway is just an unbelievably, extraordinarily beautiful country. That was just such an experience. I'm a huge outdoorsman, and so being able to do that and see Norway in that way, I had wanted to do kayaking in several different places on the Ultimate World Cruise, and so to be able to do it in Norway when we were so looking forward to seeing Norway and being part of it was really, really special. Okay, number 13 was seeing the Northern Lights. So definitely a bucket list item, and that's one of those things you've got to be in the right place. Totally see the lights at the right time, and we were, but it took quite a bit of planning. So we were just outside of Iceland. Our captain was convinced we were not going to see them, and we actually had a watch group. So all of us had signed up to be on call every night. And if anyone saw them, they put a call out to everyone that was interested and we could go running. The majority of my pictures are what I could actually see through my eyes, and standing there and thinking, these eyes are seeing this view in this moment in time is literally indescribable. It was perfect. Mark the Northern Lights off my bucket list. Just wowza. Okay, number 12 is a completely unexpected gem, is Jeresh, Jordan. First of all, Jordan, the country of Jordan was shockingly gorgeous. Highly recommended that we see Jeresh, and it literally rivals the Roman Forum in Rome, and in my opinion I would maybe put it over that. Unfortunately, Jordan is in a part of the world that has just had so much unrest. There was no one there, which made the experience for us just so much better. So well preserved.
Look to the orchestra with a marble. And the stage.
Amazing.
Under the stage there is niches, and these niches used to light the oil lamp at night. Comes from everywhere to participate.
Oh yeah, look at this.
It was so remarkably well preserved. It was absolutely incredible to imagine while you're out there of what still remains to be discovered. Really, really incredible. Definitely must go to Jordan, and don't miss Dresh while you're there. Number 11 is a place that everyone said do not go. We're off to Paris. We're going to the Olympics. We went to Paris, France to go to the Olympics. How excited are you? Can you see Paris for the first time?
Very excited. It's a big one.
Moulin Rouge, the Eiffel Tower, football tickets, Paris, the train. The 2024 Olympics. First of all, it's Paris. I mean, you know, we could go on and on about Paris. Second of all, it's the Olympics. Now, everybody says don't go to the Olympics because it's just going to be a mess of, you know, people and, you know, just difficult to get around, difficult to get into. But I think because so many people don't want to go, there was very few tourists in the city, if you can imagine that. We saw an Olympic soccer game. The experience of saying that we went to an Olympic game, seeing the Olympic rings, seeing them on the side of the Eiffel Tower, seeing the city, recognizing and decorating the Olympics and the athletes. It was exceptional. We had a blast. Would highly recommend it, and definitely goes on my bucket list to mark off been to the Olympics. So I would say if you have the opportunity to go to the Olympics, absolutely go, because I think that you will find that there aren't as many people as you maybe would have expected, and it's an experience that you cannot replicate in any other way. Okay, number 10 is Abu Dhabi. First of all, like, what am I doing in Abu Dhabi? That is insane and mind-blowing by itself. We did a safari, which was 4-wheel drive trucks that drove us through the sand dunes in Abu Dhabi, past camels, into the desert to do a Bedouin safari that was so crazy cool. First time I ever got to ride a camel. Funny because it was kind of one of those petting zoo kind of situations where they just walked you around in a circle, but just being on a camel in Abu Dhabi is just an experience. And then the Bedouin tent is in the middle of nowhere. So we had food. I got a henna tattoo that I had on me for weeks. We had a whole belly dancing show, and then there was a camel show at the end that was just jaw-dropping. One of the most special kind of soul moments was at the end of the whole day. They shut all the lights down in the tent. Everybody laid on their backs, and in the pitch dark, the sky in the middle of the Abu Dhabi desert is one that, I can't describe. The stars felt like you could just reach out and grab them. Such a beautiful day and an incredible experience, and just surreal that you're in Abu Dhabi. Number 9 is Sydney, Australia, but not for Sydney by itself, although Sydney is cool. It was the Sydney Harbour Bridge for us. Remember, we're super crazy scared of heights. Remember the ZipLine, number 20? So climbing the Sydney Harbour Bridge is definitely a leap of faith. But again, fear's here to teach us something. So we were not going to miss climbing the Sydney Harbour Bridge. They do this whole tutorial. They have a mock bridge set up in their facility. All the safety measures. You wear mandatory gear and a suit. No cameras are allowed out there, which is such a blessing, because for me specifically, I would have definitely wanted to videotape the whole thing to remember the experience, but to share it with you. But the distraction of the camera would have been another level. Being at that height, being fully exposed on the exterior of this bridge. You go all the way up at the top, cross over, and then all the way back down. The views out there, just the exhilaration. One of the greatest experiences we've had together, facing a significant fear and doing it and having a blast.
Made it to Sydney, Australia. We're on the
Top of the bridge.
Harbour Bridge. Woo!
Thank you, Sydney Harbor Bridge, for creating such an incredible experience for us. Oh, yeah, definitely number 10 on the top list, climbing the Sydney Harbor Bridge. Speaking of Australia, number 8 is flying over the Great Barrier Reef. We were supposed to snorkel in the Great Barrier Reef for my birthday. We had a whole plan for it, and of course, a storm hits. And so if we haven't learned anything of traveling a ton, is you definitely have to go with the flow, because sometimes one lost experience leads to an extraordinary experience. And that was definitely this case, because once we weren't able to snorkel in the Great Barrier Reef, the alternative was to fly. And remember, we're afraid of heights. So being in a small plane flying over water is another thing entirely. A vantage point that is just so rare, right? And being able to see literally clearly through the water to the coral reefs below, flying over a whole bunch of different areas that we wouldn't have seen. And so we were able to see so much of the reef and not disturb it, and see the beautiful clear waters and experience the Great Barrier Reef in this way. We actually took flight lessons, Roy and I, and we're probably halfway through our flight hours. So the plane wasn't as unnerving as it maybe would have been in a different circumstance, but nonetheless.
That was awesome.
That was
Great night.
absolutely incredible,
We did it. We
right?
finally did it.
We saw it. We finally saw it.
We had such a blast. It was such an experience worth every single penny, and definitely a video you don't want to miss. Number 7 is seeing the DMZ. So that's the demilitarized zone between South Korea and North Korea. Like, that is just crazy. It's highly volatile. We were literally on the fence, so you could see the guard tower in North Korea.
And lastly, please look at the left. We can see the several transmission towers. The green transmission towers are located inside.
We were able to walk partially into the tunnel where North Koreans were digging, trying to get to South Korea. The history there, and there's a town where people live right on the demilitarized zone on the South Korea side. That whole day was just made me so proud, so grateful for my freedom. Really, really remarkable stop. Okay, number 6. The pyramids in Cairo. Now, not just the pyramids, because that is just crazy cool to begin with. Being in Cairo, seeing the pyramids, knowing you're in Egypt in front of this incredible world wonder is just such an experience. But going inside the pyramid, I'm not sure I can properly articulate what it's like to be inside an Egyptian pyramid. I am inside the biggest pyramid. Oh my God. I'm totally can't stop crying. Holy pyramid right now. I'm not a super fan of small spaces. Claustrophobia is a real thing. Roy got about 15 crawls in and said he's out, turned around and went back. There's so much in here, but it is worth every single step. It is worth every single step. It did take everything I had. Just such a cool experience to say that you were inside an Egyptian pyramid. So Cairo, Egypt, and the pyramids, specifically being inside, is definitely on the top 10. Let me tell you about number 5. 5 lands with Moorea in French Polynesia. First of all, it's Moorea, it's French Polynesia. The water is like nothing you've seen on the planet, literally looking like it was in a glass. It is crystal clear, beautiful turquoise, just Oh, so amazing. We rented e-bikes, we rode all over the island. It's so chill there, total island vibe, which is awesome. Oh my God, it is so unbelievably beautiful here. Then we rented a clear kayak. It is clear plastic so you can see through the bottom. Okay, this is unreal.
That's wild. If that's natural, it's wild.
Water.
Look at that mountain. Oh, yeah, look at the
Thank you for the panoramic of the water and the beautiful mountain view. And when we got to our destination with a kayak, we have an opportunity to snorkel. And Roy's never snorkeled, so immediately he was a hard no. And I said, all right, see ya, I'm going. He decides he's gonna try it. He loved it. We were swimming with sharks and all these incredible fish. The water you could see forever. So abundant with wildlife. It was such a beautiful day. If you've followed my videos, you know that I have a list of if I'm ever missing, check for me here. Moorea is definitely on that list. I loved it so much. Number 4 has been number 1 on my list since 2018 when I did it, but it is one of the most incredible places on the planet. And it's right here in my home state of Arizona. It's Havasupai. First of all, you have to hike down into the Grand Canyon about 10 miles. So we did training for a couple months before we left. We camped for 2 nights in Havasupai. It is managed by the Havasupai tribe, and the waterfalls and the water at the base of the canyon in Havasupai, the waterfalls fall over travertine, and in doing so, it clears the water in such an incredible way, and it deposits something therapeutic in the water, because after hiking 10 miles, just sitting in the waters in Havasupai felt like therapy. It is otherworldly. Camping in a tent, carrying everything in, carrying everything out, exploring while we're there. I would do it again in a heartbeat. It is not for everyone because obviously hiking down, you gotta hike out and back up. You can helicopter in, and you can use mules to carry your stuff, but yeah, being an animal lover, I'm not putting my backpack on a mule. I'm carrying it, and I did, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. I would probably stay longer. When they release the permits for it, you want to be ready with a couple options that you're willing to travel on, because the permits go super fast. You can't just go down into the canyon on your own. It requires a permit. I absolutely loved it, and it's magical, literally magical. You're hiking at the top, so the waterfall drops down when you first get there. So coming around that corner and seeing it drop, the very first sight of it is breathtaking. It's just, trust me, Havasupai Falls, worth every single step of the hike into the Grand Canyon. Number 3 is visiting the Great Wall of China, and not for the reasons you might think. We toured the Bedouin site of the Great Wall of China at night, exclusive just for us. Royal Caribbean closed the entire thing, and it was lit up. There was a whole celebration and music and dancers. And the Great Wall of China, just the silence of it, the scale, standing among the history of it, just awe-inspiring. We were running around like children, up one side, up the other. You don't just visit the Great Wall of China, you actually feel it, like right here. Number 2, the first thing you notice is not the cold, it's the silence. It's deafeningly silent in Paradise Bay. The beautiful, majestic iceberg sculptures that float by. Antarctica is untouched, just this untouched area for millions of years. It's so quiet out here. You can actually hear your heartbeat. It's hard to get your head around that you're there and you're actually seeing with your own eyes this view. Really incredible. Number 1. Then comes Petra, Jordan. We're here.
We're here. We made it.
We are at the treasury at Petra.
At Petra.
Is it everything you had thought it would be?
It's more, actually. Believe it or not, it's more. It's amazing. We have it almost to ourselves. Look at this.
It's
No one behind us.
Unbelievably beautiful and quiet and gorgeous. Petra, Jordan is hand carved by human hands over 2,000 years ago. The scale, the beauty of it, it just takes your breath away. Another place it's hard to get your head around. Our guide has us crawling through caves. Look at this. Look at that. What world am I in right now? Look at that. What? It whispers stories of the people who hand carved this here in honor of their royalty. Like nothing you can imagine. It goes on and on and on and is gorgeous. Wow. Let's say goodbye to Petra.
Amazing. The #1 world wonder. #1 world wonder.
Absolute #1. Stunning, beautiful, incredible, fabulous, marvelous.
See that treasury behind us? There's hundreds of the buildings equally as nice as that, and it's amazing. Hundreds here.
Unbelievable.